Hello everyone, this is Aryan from More Than Just a Game, and today we'll go through setting up our blackjack template and using it in your game. We offer online free and paid support, so feel free to submit any questions or suggestions. For this tutorial, I'll be using Unreal Engine 5.4, but the product supports anything above 421, so feel free to use any version that's compatible. Okay, so for having your own customized version of Blackjack, you have to go through some steps and files. The first one you'd want to change is the data assets we have for Blackjack. You can see an instance of that over here, and I'll just explain everything here. First, we have the version name. This is used for some local storage functionalities, so make sure you keep this unique among all other versions. So each version should have its own unique version name. The next one is the widget class. This is a child class of the Blackjack widget, which we'll get into more details of. But basically, this is where all the logic for Blackjack happens. The next two ones are some properties you only need to set up if you want to use a 2D lobby. If you just want to have it in 3D, you can just skip these two. But the first one is basically the name that would be displayed for this item inside the 2D lobby, and the second one is the thumbnail for this in the list and in the 2D lobby. The next four variables are arrays of texture 2Ds. These are basically textures for spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. The only important thing is that these have to be sorted from ace to king for all four of them. And the next one is the back face texture for the cards, and that's it for the data asset. The next file you can make customizations on is the widget blueprint that we have. There are two things you can do. If you only have one variation of blackjack in your game, you can just directly edit the parent class. The logic also happens here, but you don't have to worry about that. You can just edit the visuals of this. I don't know, change colors, reposition things, change the scales, change the textures and all that. Another thing to note about this is that there are some locators inside the tree. These are basically some invisible views that are used in the code to designate the locations of some stuff, such as like the deck locator. This is where the cards would pile up. Deck start locator. This is where the cards will start spawning from, and they would just get animated from here until they reach the deck locator. And there are some other locators for like dealer's hand or player's hand and all that. The names are self-explanatory. I don't think anything's needed on that. So for example, just for example, we have player hand top right locator and player hand bottom left locator. This is mainly because we can have many cards in one player's hand, and we just show where the top right card would be and where the left bottom card would be. And just if we have, I don't know, four cards, it would just select some location between these 2 points. It will make more sense when I play the game and you see how it plays out. One important note about these locators is that you better not change the anchors on these locators. You can change their positions, but it's better you don't touch the anchors because it may come with some problems if you do. So like I said, if you have just one variation of blackjack, you can just edit the parent class, but if you have more than one variation, what you have to do is making a child class of this parent class like this. You open up the parent class, you can see that this is all under the main canvas. So you copy the main canvas, you paste it here, and when you hit compile, you will see a bunch of errors. This is because there are some duplicate names. So for example, we have lobby button here inside the child blueprint, and we have the same name in the parent blueprint. So this wouldn't let this compile. All you have to do is just add some underscore something at the end so the names are different. Then the next thing you would have to do is to, after event construct in the child blueprint, you call a function named override views. You set this to true, and you hook up the renamed variables here. So for example, in the parent class, we have add bet button. We have the same thing inside the child class. We rename it and add some underscore in the end. You'll see it here under your variables. You just drag and drop this here and hook this up like that. You do this for all the variables and you'd be good to go. If you want to have a 3D view for your game, the only thing that's left to do is just going over here, creating a child of this, and you can make some visual changes to this machine. You can change like the material colors, you can change the element 6 and 7 to change what's displayed on the screen of this machine. And then when you're done redesigning, you can just drag and drop this into your scene. And the only thing that you have to do is to set up this data asset and assign it the data asset you want to use, the version of Blackjack you want to use. And yeah, that's it for 3D views. So when you hit play and get close to this, it would say press E to play, and when you do, you just can't play the game. I think the locators make more sense as you see them here. Yeah, basically like that. And as you can see, you have top right locator 1, top right locator 2. This is because the functionality of blackjack is splitting. So if you split your hand, you would have one hand over here, one hand over here. So these are just to distinguish those two. So now if you want to have a 2D lobby for this game, you can go through the same process you did for the main parent widget of the blackjack, but this time with the lobby blueprint. But it's unlikely that you may want to have more than one lobby, so what you can do is just editing the parent class directly, making any visual changes you want. But if for any reason you want to have more than one lobby, you can just go through the same process called the override views function and all that. And this lobby blueprint is compatible with all our other casino projects we have on Marketplace, but we'll make a separate tutorial for that to show how to merge those products. So yeah, that's it for 2D lobby, and then what you have to do is drag and drop an instance of this class into your map. I have one over here. For the data assets variable, you just fill it with the versions you want to show in the 2D lobby, and make sure you set this to true. If you don't, it would just play as it's in 3D. If you do, it would play as it's in 2D. And then you just assign the lobby widget class. It could be whether a child will create, or it could be the parent class. So when you hit play, you can see that this is the name we assigned in the data asset. This is the thumbnail we assigned for it in the data asset. And yeah, when you hit play, you just can't see the game play as it would play in the 3D view. So yeah, that's it for the blackjack. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them either in the comments or through our support system, and have fun coding.